The gymnasium was glowing with fairy lights and silver balloons, the music loud enough to drown out most conversations, and the air thick with the perfume of excitement and nerves. Prom night, it was supposed to be magical. At least, that's what every movie, every glossy magazine, and every classmate had been saying for weeks. But for Emma Carter, the shy girl who always sat near the back of the classroom, the night was already turning into something else entirely. She had spent the past 2 weeks sewing her own dress because she couldn't afford one of those designer gowns the other girls flaunted. Her mother had smiled with pride when Emma had twirled in front of their cracked mirror, whispering that she looked like a princess. Emma had hoped maybe tonight, just maybe, she could step out of her shadow, if only for a few hours. But shadows cling stubbornly to those who've been pushed down too long. She had walked into the gym alone, clutching the small purse her grandmother had once owned, her heartbeat racing faster than the DJ's bass drops. Nobody looked at her. Nobody noticed. That's how it always was. Emma was invisible unless someone wanted to make a joke. And unfortunately, tonight would be no different. Across the gym, laughter was booming around a group of popular boys in crisp suits. At the center of them stood Jason Miller, the school's golden boy, quarterback, prom king nominee, and the kind of person everyone assumed would never leave town without leaving a trail of broken hearts. Jason had a cruel charm, and his circle of friends fed off the energy. Their targets were always easy, the quiet, the weak, the different. Emma knew that, and still, she had made the mistake of hoping that maybe if she asked someone to dance, if she was brave enough, the night could be hers too. She gathered her courage like armor, every step toward Jason feeling heavier than the last. Her palms were sweating, her throat tight, but she managed to get the words out. "Would you like to maybe dance with me?" Her voice cracked, fragile and trembling. For a moment, silence. Jason blinked, then smirked. His friends burst out laughing, like hyenas circling prey. "You dance with me? Are you serious?" Jason's voice dripped with mockery. Emma's cheeks burned, her body frozen in place. She wished the floor would swallow her whole. But then Jason leaned closer, his words loud enough for everyone nearby to hear. "Why would I waste a song on the school ghost? You don't even belong here." His words were sharp enough to cut deeper than any knife. The laughter spread, echoing through the gym. Emma tried to back away, her vision blurred with humiliation, but Jason's friend Tyler stepped in front of her, blocking the path. "Seaman, don't leave yet," he jeered, grabbing at the edge of her handmade dress. Emma flinched, her hands instinctively clutching the fabric. "What's this? Did you raid your grandma's closet?" Another round of cruel laughter exploded. And then, before Emma could stop them, rough hands pulled at her shirt, ripping it right down the seam. The sound of fabric tearing cut through the music like a scream. Gasps erupted around them. Emma stood frozen, her chest exposed in front of the crowd, her arms hugging herself desperately. Shock, shame, and fury clashed inside her chest like a storm breaking free. She had endured years of whispers, of being shoved into lockers, of eating lunch alone while hearing laughter in the background. But this moment, this cruelty, shattered something inside her. Her breath came fast, her eyes wide, but there was something else in them now, something dangerous. The gym full of people, who had never once stood up for her, suddenly saw Emma Carter in a different light. Because as Jason and his friends laughed, Emma's fists clenched. Her shoulders straightened, and for the first time she wasn't going to run. She wasn't going to cry in the bathroom stall. She wasn't going to hide. She had been training quietly for years in the dim back room of a small martial arts studio, where her uncle had taught her discipline, patience, and the art of self-defense. Nobody at school had known. Nobody had asked. They only saw the shy girl with second-hand clothes and downcast eyes. But tonight, they would see more. Jason reached out again, probably to shove her or humiliate her further, but before his hand even made contact, Emma moved. In a blur of speed, her legs swung upward with precision, and her roundhouse kick connected with the side of Jason's face. The sound of impact was sharp, followed by a stunned silence as his body stumbled back, crashing into the drink table. Soda cans exploded, chips flew, and the mighty Jason Miller lay sprawled on the floor. The entire gym went dead silent. No music, no laughter, just the stunned sound of people trying to process what had just happened. Emma stood tall, her ripped shirt still clutched in one hand, her chest heaving, eyes burning like fire. For once she wasn't the invisible girl. She was the storm no one saw coming. The bullies who had laughed a moment ago suddenly froze. Tyler, who had ripped her shirt, stared in disbelief, his smirk wiped clean. What the hell was that?" he stammered. Emma didn't answer. Her silence was louder than any words she could have spoken. The crowd began to murmur, whispers spreading like wildfire. Some were shocked, some were impressed, and some were afraid. Emma's secret strength had been unleashed, and nothing about her reputation would ever be the same again. But this was only the beginning.